Look at all these gorgeous people. Just look at you. I am a fucking mess, let me tell you. No, I'm doing fine. I'm enjoying being back in the Pacific Northwest. I recently moved back here from Los Angeles a few months ago. Has anybody ever made the mistake of living in LA? Just by show of hands, yeah. The rest of you just went there for Disneyland? That's how you're supposed to do it. If you're gonna go to LA, go there, visit Disneyland, and then get the fuck out of that godforsaken city. It's a lot of fun, but the whole time I was there, I was like, I'm broke, my steering wheel's hot, fuck! Damn it! No, I did the whole move to Hollywood thing to pursue comedy, and clearly it didn't work out. That's why I'm here in Seattle in front of you right now. But no, it's going fine. I moved to Los Angeles with unemployed with $4,000 in my bank account, and I just assumed it was the 1920s and I'd be fine. But yeah, it's the $4,000. It's a lot. Like when I'm living with my parents, I should be good. Now, I moved there. The only place that would take me when I moved to LA was a hostel. I lived full-time in a hostel. I had 15 total roommates. And of those 15 roommates, I shared a room. I shared a bunkhouse with 5 other men. And I was convinced that one of those motherfuckers was using my body wash. And I've never been closer to murder in my entire life. I got so paranoid. I started sniffing my roommates when they walked out of the shower. Like, hey man, you smell like Old Spice. I'm supposed to smell like Old Spice. Why do you smell like me? Started weighing my body wash on one of those drug dealer scales, you know? I only use 1.5 grams of body wash a day, man. Why am I down 3 grams from yesterday? What do you know about that? Moved to LA as a brown man who does not speak Spanish. That was my other mistake. No, it was nerve-wracking to go up to like all those taco trucks. That's my favorite. The most authentic Mexican food is from any taco truck in LA, and I was paranoid to go up to them because they would always assume I was Latino. They'd greet me the same way. They'd be like, "Hola, señor," and then I would respond with, "Hi." Could I have some carne asada, please? Thank you. Gracias. And he would look at me like I was some type of non-Spanish speaking whitewashed Mexican, which I'm not. I'm an Indonesian man. It's a totally different place. Indonesia is like if you were to take Mexico and you threw it at a bunch of rice paddies in Islam, you get Indonesia. So I don't know if you remember middle school social studies, but that's how it works. Mexicans plus rice paddies and Islam equals this right here. Us brown people come in many different flavors. There's brown people who make carne asada, then there's brown people who cut the feet off of chickens, boil the chicken feet, and scrape the chicken feet against their teeth. I am the latter. We got any chicken feet eating Asians in here? Where are you at? I always look for like a table of Asians. There you go. They're quiet. You gotta give them credit, but no, because that's like the only time I'll see an Asian table rejoice and be elated. It was when I mentioned chicken feet. Like, yeah, you know our shit, chicken feet. Hell yeah. Doing okay though. I'm a 26-year-old man. I'm a 26-year-old with a nice, tight, young body, you know? I don't like telling people my age, because whenever I tell people my age, they always do that older relative at Thanksgiving thing. Well, they'll be like, oh, wow, you're really young, or I remember when I was your age, be careful out there. Like, oh, thanks, Uncle Doug, how's that cancer going? Patronizing me about my age. No, young and old is all relative, right? Like, I'm not young in general. I'm just young relative to some of you old motherfuckers. I'm a middle-aged guy in Somalia, but it's not an opinion. You can Google search life expectancy by country. I'm not stating opinions, guys. I'm old compared to a 5-year-old, you know, but I don't go up to 5-year-olds and patronize them about their age. Like, how old are you? 5? Oh, wow, you're pretty young. What do you do, play with good toys and go to school? I remember when I was 5. I have a pet cat. That's it. I don't have a joke attached to it. No, I have a cat. I'm convinced my cat wants to have sex with me, though. I'm not fucking my cat. I just think she wants to fuck me. Because she's always like throwing me all these signals. Like she wants to bang. You know, my cat will like rub her head against my knuckles, rub her tail against my knuckles, eat the food I put in her bowl, sexy things like that. But I don't really think I should have sex with my cat, because she's only 17. I should at least wait until my cat's 18, right? Then, if I wait until my cat's 18, that way I won't get persecuted. Persecuted. Some of you got it. It's the end part. There we go. Why laugh when you can groan? Thanks. Here's the thing. I totally forgot that it was possible to have a kid on purpose. That's a thing that happens. Can you believe that? Like, there's people out there who actually make the conscious decision of like, hey, let's make our lives a lot harder. Yeah, let's have a kid. It'll be great. Because I'm 26. I know people in my age group that I went to school with that have kids, but when a mid-20s couple has a kid, it's usually accidental, right? Like, there's no mid-20s couple that's like, hey, you know how you make 17 an hour and I make 20 an hour? Okay, let's make something that costs $200,000 over the course of 18 years. That'll be great. No, when a mid-20s couple has a kid, it's usually just a result of, oh, I feel so much better without that thing on, whoops, and they have a kid. I overheard my mom's friend talking to my mom about how she was trying for a baby. She used the phrase trying for a baby. I got confused, I forgot what it meant. I just pictured her and her husband like at a carnival game. Like, try for a baby, test your luck. Get 3 targets down in a row, you win 1 baby, 1 Chinese baby. Doesn't have to be a Chinese baby. I would pick a Chinese baby. You pick whatever baby you want. Anyways. I was on my way to my friend Lily's house, and she texted me. She asked me to pick her up some tampons, and this was a really steep task for me because I had never purchased tampons before. You know, I've never been the proprietor of a vagina. So I stopped by 7-Eleven of all places to pick up said tampons, but the only tampons 7-Eleven had were Tampax Sport. And this girl, Lily, was not a sport-playing person. So I got all flustered and confused. I called her. I was like, hey, Lily, the only tampons I have are Tampax Sport, but I know you are not an athlete. You're not a woman of the sports. So will not work, will not fit. Tell me what to do. Are Tampax Pearl only for oyster vaginas? I don't know. I still don't know. She doesn't really talk to me anymore, but life goes on. I had an Asian mom growing up. I still have an Asian mom. She's not dead yet, but no. One of my least favorite things to see coming home from school was like a bunch of Hyundais parked in front of the house, because that would indicate that my Asian mother had her Asian friends over. This is a steep task for me because I grew up in Mukilteo. Most of my friends were white, so like I knew how to make small talk with suburban white mothers. That was simple. It was just, how are you? Good. How's school going? Great, etc. But making small talk with Indonesian suburban mothers is a totally different animal. They would just yell adjectives at you. I'd walk in from school and be like, Craig, big, you so big now. Like, oh, thank you, ma'am. Big, handsome. Like, oh, shit, you're pretty handsome yourself, bitch. Thank you. Like, I wish women out in public would just approach me like that. It'd be so much easier. Big, handsome, big. Like, ah, shit, let's hang out, bitch. All right. That was simple. Yeah, I think she likes you. She called you big and handsome. She was yelling both those words. Where my COVID weight gainers at? Anyone get fat in the last 2-3 years? Yeah. You can clap. There's a whole lot of dishonest fat people, and then a few people that are admitting it. No, like I gained 30 pounds in the last 2 years, and I want to preface this by saying, like, I know I'm not blatantly fat. Like, people don't look at me and think that guy's enormous. I'm what I like to call shirt-off fat. You know? Like, I look reasonably in shape if I'm wearing a hoodie, but I prefer to not walk against the wind while only wearing a t-shirt. Shirt off fat. No, initially, because I got fat as a comic, so initially I thought the silver lining to getting fat as a comedian was I had this whole realm of fat jokes I could do now. But then I quickly realized that there's like a minimum weight requirement for doing fat jokes, because there's 0 fat people that take me seriously if I joke about being fat on stage. They're just glaring at me in disgust, like, you're not fat, I'm fat. My doctor gave me 3 weeks to live, I'm fat, you're not fat. I remember my first attempt at fat jokes. I was at an open mic. I had written a joke about exceeding 200 pounds on the scale for the first time. I was 204 pounds at the time. I tried the joke out, it failed, I bombed. Then coincidentally, the comic that came up after me was this larger black lady, and I'll never forget what she said. Her exact words were, 204, 204, this motherfucker complaining about being 204. I came out my mama pussy moan 204, and I came out my mama pussy more than 204. Like, I can't compete with that. So I've since retired fat jokes. Hey, I've been Craig Stewart. Thank you so much. Give up for your host, Gunnar Olsen. Gunnar Israel.